Hey YouTubers, Steven here. How's everybody doing? It's been a long time, I know. Weird thing, I've had all this time, all the free time, when you're doing shift work, 4 days on, 4 days off. Find it easy to manage your time, get the housework done, chores, things, running around, groceries, all that nonsense. Man, working Monday to Friday. I'm still trying to figure out the schedule thing to the max, but here we are. Update video. I'm brewing beer today. Doing a Red Ale kit, and I'm using some Perle hops that I grew this year. Quick pro tip, if I can use that term. The hop schedule that I'm planning is basically an ounce at a time. And since I'm using 4 ounces, I already have the hop tea going behind me here with 1 ounce of hops. This would be 2 ounces of hops. So my pro tip is, if you're splitting up stuff, if each bag is 2 ounces, take an ounce from this one to do your first, ounce from this one to do your second, and then you don't have to weigh these because you already weighed them in the bag, right? Hey, right on. But my hop schedule, I'm planning on doing 30 minutes for the first ounce, 15, 10, and 5 for the remaining 3 ounces. Just to try and get that floral and more flavor, I guess, if you will, instead of the bitterness. Last year's hops, I really enjoyed playing around with the flavors and not so much the bitterness. So I may try some dry hopping this year. Fingers crossed. So, how's everyone been doing anyways? I know it's been a while. Sometimes, when you're dealing with 200-300 emails a day, it's kind of hard to go through your comments or get motivated to go through all your emails for your channel, but I do try and manage to get through them. I'm going to try and do it a little more frequently than I have been. I've also been running out of ideas on what to film to be interesting, even food videos. I'm not entirely sure. I guess you could say I've been in a bit of a creative rut, throw in, still trying to manage my time. I do have one more hop vlog that I'm going to put up before my final tally, which I may as well save for now. My final tally this year was 6 ounces of Cascade. It's rough. I really hurt my plant, I think, when I hit those roots, but fingers crossed for next year, right? Perle, I did pretty good. I did 21 ounces of Perle hops, so I was really pleased with that. And my Newports, you saw how crazy all those plants were. I gave away a vine to a friend of mine. He said he got 9 ounces off of it when they were dried. I got in total 32 ounces off of all the vines that were there. But one of the books I'm reading, and my reading habits, there's like, I'll pick up a book, I'll go through 5 or 6 pages and I'll put it down, and I might pick it up a couple weeks later. But For the Love of Hops, I've been reading that, and one of the things that they mentioned in the book was some of the hop farmers would grow a mature crop. So once the hops are ready to be picked, they would leave them. And, I guess they say the time varied. So I thought I would try this myself. I left 2 vines, which ended up giving me 8 ounces from the 2 vines that I had left. And I had to pick through a lot of bad ones. I only picked the good ones, but I had left it on, trying to remember now, I think it was a month that I left the hops on a little longer. And I want to do a comparison, so I'll do say like a red ale, or maybe I'll do a pale ale. Might be a little safer, because then with the pale ale, the malts should be a little more neutral maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Red ale to do the experiment, or pale ale to do the Newport experiment? Because what I'll do is I'll brew them identical, like do the hop teas the same, and just see what the difference is between the hops hops picked when it's ready for harvest, and the mature hops that were a month late. It'd be kind of interesting. Because who knows, maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something that we can throw into the newer home brewing books, eh? For the guys that are, growing the hops. But, 15 minutes. Time for another hop edition. 1 ounce. Oh, this smells really good. The kitchen's getting really hot. But there we go. Oh, that smells great. So, now that I'm down to 15 minutes, I need to shut the camera off for a minute and get my red ale extract in some hot water. Just going to use Red Path, the yellow, brown, golden yellow sugar, light brown sugar, whatever you'd like to call it. And yeah, so be right back. Okay, so we've got the malt extract in the hot water. I'm throwing in all kinds of stuff. So here's the Blueberry Pale Ale review that I'm going to do. Now, when I made this, I used it with 2 ounces of Cascade hops, I think. I haven't watched the video in a bit. But it's got a blueberry taste. Hopefully the color comes out on the camera here. But it's got a nice purpley color. Oh, let's use my phone. So it's got a bit of a purpley color to it. I don't know how well it's really showing through the camera here, but it's a pretty color, that's for sure. Where did my timer go? Alright, here we go. Time for another ounce. We're down to 10 minutes already. Turn the element down just a hair, just to calm it down a little bit. So just getting a little too crazy back there. So alright, so let's give this a sniff, eh? There is a bit of the hops there, but there's a lot of blueberry that kind of masks it, which is kind of interesting. With my bottled beer, I've been doing half a teaspoon hard packed of brown sugar, and I find it's actually, it's easier to measure than 3/4 of a teaspoon, but I find the carbonation is really light, so it's not so much like a pop or soda, as my American friends would say. And well, let's give it a sip, shall we? Cheers. 17, everybody. So the blueberry's right there in the front. It's quite nice. But the hops with the blueberry almost gives it a slight black licorice taste, if you will. I know there's Ansi, I think that's how you say it. Not entirely sure. But it does have a slight hint of a black licorice with the blueberry. Which is interesting. Like I said, these here are aged, let me think, when did I make that? Gosh, can't remember. But August 6th. See, this is why you keep a notebook and write your recipes down. I made it on August the 6th. Yeah, we were going to the beach to look for sand dollars that day. Cool. Anyways, interesting. is what I would call it. If you're going to use fruit beers, I don't think doing a hop tea is advisable. It's a little too much, you know, because the fruit beers, the fruit is kind of light anyways, and the hops kind of overpowering. This, I think, is just kind of a fluke that it's got a bit of a black licorice taste. I was planning on doing the beer review down at Pine Peak, but I really needed to do an update to say hi to y'all. Let y'all know I'm doing okay, you know, busy at work. Kids are doing great, doing their own things, their life, you know. We're trying to get ready for Christmas. Got a lot of little projects done around the house and the yard. Still a few other things to do. Hunting season's been going on. I haven't had any luck. But, you know, I've had some interesting pictures in my trail camera. So yeah, just getting used to the new laptop that a friend of mine sent me, Vinny. Thanks, bud. I think I mentioned it in my hop vlog as well. But I wanted to do this update video first before I put that up. So it's old footage, but hey, I filmed it and it is worth watching. I had a little mishap after the last video that you folks watched. But I'll explain that more in the video, because then there'd be no sense you watching it, right? Oh, look at that. Wow, I'm down to 5 minutes again. Pardon me, but definitely keep experimenting with the beers, the flavors, the fruits, because this is what home brewing's about. Just gotta find some creative stuff to try and make, so I can continue making videos, because we can't keep making the same video over and over again, right? So I like that. Definitely make the blueberry pale ale again. Probably won't add Cascade hops to it. Oh, look at that. So I gotta put the last hop addition in. I definitely have to figure out some time to make an all grain. It's been way too long. And there's a couple of recipes that I'd really like to make again. The ginger saison, really like to make that again. Ode to Maple Inn, that was a beautiful beer as well. So many recipes I've already made that I'd like to make again. So many more recipes that I have yet to try. So I might try doing some brew in the bag. I'm also looking at maybe doing a temperature control unit just for my kettle. Since it's on the same floor now, if I get it painted up, put some wheels on it, I can move the stove out of the way, wheel my kettle in here, and brew right here, do my boils. Or it's still half decently mild. I could use the propane burner outside. So. But I'm thinking about experimenting with some smaller batches, just so that I can maybe make more recipes, and you know, it'd be a little cheaper and a little easier to do. But I'm almost to the end of the boil. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to update you on. Alright, so anyways, this is just about done. I got 2 minutes left of the boil, and you saw me just pouring them into the bag, or into the pot. I'm going to use my bag, right? Just put the bag in my bucket, pour everything into the bucket just to strain them off. It's probably the easiest way of doing the hops, instead of putting them in the bag and then trying to boil them. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm rambling on because I'm just so happy to see everybody. So, until next time, everybody, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I am going to try and make more videos. I know I keep saying this. One of these days I'll make it come true, I promise. I do have several ideas. There's, you know, I have a new fridge for my kegerator, and I plan on getting more than one keg going, so stay tuned while I figure that one out. And I got some other stuff coming up. So, till next time, folks, cheers, 17, be hoppy.